Hello, this is Shantia Meekum. I'm answering the video essay questions for Chapter 8 for Microbiology 2117. The first question is, what steps in protein synthesis are inhibited by each drug? Ciprofloxacin inhibits DNA gyrase, which relaxes supercoiling ahead of the replication fork. When the supercoiling is not relaxed by the gyrase, the helicase is unable to unwind the two strands of parental DNA, and all this means that the DNA cannot be transcribed or replicated. So essentially, this antibiotic just keeps the DNA from being replicated, which kills the bacteria. Erythromycin binds in front of the A site on the 50S subunit of a ribosome. So prokaryotes have a 70S ribosome that has two parts, a 50S subunit and a 30S subunit. By binding to the A site of the 50S subunit, protein synthesis is interrupted. Humans are eukaryotes with 80S ribosomes, so it's a good target for an antibiotic to not affect eukaryotic cells, human cells very much. However, mitochondria also have 70S ribosomes, so it can still have an effect on the mitochondrial ribosomes of humans, so it can still affect human cells. Acyclovir is structurally similar to the nucleoside deoxyguanosine, which codes for the guanine nucleotide. Normal thymidine kinase will combine a phosphate and the nucleoside to create a guanine nucleotide. The viral enzyme, thymidine kinase, so the virus ends up altering the thymidine kinase enzyme, and the altered enzyme binds to the acyclovir, mistaking it for the proper nucleoside. It then binds acyclovir to the phosphate, which creates a false nucleotide called acyclovir triphosphate, which stops the DNA assembly, which prevents the virus from replicating. Which drug is more effective against bacteria and why? So erythromycin and ciprofloxacin are ciprofloxacin. Sorry, I can't say that word. Ciprofloxacin are both antibiotics, so they are both effective against bacteria. As for which one is more effective against bacteria, it sort of depends on the bacteria. I think erythromycin is a little more broad spectrum, but depending on exactly which bacteria is being targeted, one might be more effective than the other. Acyclovir is ineffective against bacteria because it's an antiviral. It can only affect cells that have been infected by a virus. Which drugs will have effects on the host cells and why? So acyclovir will not affect the host cells because it is only useful against cells that have been infected by the virus, which alters the thymidine kinase. Erythromycin, again, could affect the host's mitochondrial ribosomes, and ciprofloxacin would affect the host cells since it targets a process that is used both in normal cells and cells infected by bacteria. So which disease is acyclovir primarily used for, and why is it more effective than erythromycin? So acyclovir is an antiviral commonly used to treat the genital herpes and other herpes viruses. Since these diseases are caused by viruses instead of bacteria, antibiotics would be ineffective. Antibiotics such as erythromycin would not be effective, but acyclovir is effective since it is able to affect cells that are infected with the virus.